pledge the flag. Please silence your devices. I've been guilty of this myself. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to
the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Welcome to our meeting. A roll call, the commission, so we have no Kelly, so Ms. Sarah.
Chris Burkhalter,
I am here.
Dwayne Jenke,
Present.
Audrey Bear,
Here.
Larry Marshall,
Finally here.
Deborah McKenzie,
Here.
Sarah Pearsall here, Doug Nail.
Here.
Ooh, we got full house.
Yes.
All right.
All right, we have a quorum, so we can conduct business. Next is approval of the agenda for tonight. Does anyone have any corrections or additions? I believe we've covered everything. It's been amended once in the last week, so it should be
I'll
good.
make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
Support we have. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? None? Motion carries. Approval of the agenda is there. Approval of July 16, 2026 meeting minutes. Did anyone see any corrections from that meeting? I myself did not. I glanced through them, but
I wasn't here, so I couldn't tell you.
you weren't here.
I couldn't tell you if there are corrections.
No, it was pretty forthright.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented in the July 16th, the approval of the July 16th, 2026 meeting minutes.
Support.
Support, all in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? None? Meeting minutes are approved. So next we have a call to the public limited to agenda items only. Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak out on site plan approval or discussion over PUD regulation? No? Seeing none? Then we'll carry on to business items. So,
You have to close the call to the public.
no, that's a public hearing. This is just a call to the public, right? I'm trying to keep this straight.
Yeah, we never used to close it.
I try to keep it straight myself. Okay, so next we have business item 7A is a site plan approval for project number SP04-2026 for Peaker Services located at 8080 Kensington Court in Brighton, Michigan, 48116. The property is zoned GI, General Industrial, and the parcel is 10.05 acres in size. The parcel ID number is 4716-13-100-010. So, Michelle, would you like to give us an overview of findings of Carlisle Workman?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This proposal from Peaker includes a new 61,000+ square foot manufacturing building, as well as some additional parking and loading areas, some stormwater management facilities, landscaping, and similar related site improvements. Overall, the plan does comply with the township's zoning standards in terms of dimensions, landscaping, lighting, building design standards, including that front facade requirement for industrial buildings. But before taking any action, we do recommend the Planning Commission discuss a handful of items. First, the applicant is requesting to retain gravel surfaces on the areas that are used for the truck trailer storage and outdoor storage. That would be a deviation from the hard surfacing requirements. The commission is enabled to issue a deviation from that standard. There's 3 findings from the zoning ordinance that have to be discussed and determined to be found on the property in order for the planning commission to issue such a deviation. Second, the commission should consider whether an alternative site layout could reduce the removal of protected and landmark trees. They are mitigating for the trees, but we always say, is there some other site layout available here? And then third, the proposed parking, it substantially exceeds the ordinance requirement. So really, you should just discuss is this necessary? Perhaps there's some operational details that the applicant can offer to demonstrate why so much parking is needed. And then, of course, there was review letters from engineering as well. I'm happy to answer any questions about the planning stuff, not the engineering stuff.
Okay, right, I don't have my engineers tonight. We do have the reports. And I've seen your write-up and the items brought up, which aren't too many. So alternate site design, landmark trees, and
Gravel.
and paving, gravel. So, gentlemen,
Good evening.
state your names again, please.
Craig Stockard, Brevard Construction Company, 9325 Maltby Road, Green Oak Township. We're here this evening on behalf of Peaker Services. Peaker Services, again, at 8080 Kensington Court. Peaker Services is a large engine repair for locomotive. They've actually been on this site since 1977. I believe they were actually the first folks to be in that park, long before Gordon's or anyone. I believe we've addressed most of all the, in previous reviews with Michelle and Carlisle and CES. As it pertains to the parking, that's been based on what Peaker's looking for to, basically for their employees and customers that come in on a daily, regular basis, and then they're actually planning as part of the new facility that sits in the front part of the site, they'll likely be adding jobs, so some of those additional parking spots are for future employees. As
You
it
guys have
pertain-
your own railroad spur, right?
Correct.
You bring engines in there and, locomotives and pull engines.
Correct, so a lot of the gravel area
Wow.
that Michelle's speaking to is existing around the backside of the existing part of the building,
Okay.
which surrounds that area. So any of the surface around the new building that sits out front is getting paved. So the only gravel would be retained in that back area along the backside of the spur that is part of the existing facility that's been there for a long time.
And what's parked there? Is it only trailers or are there?
So there were
vehicles?
some, per Michelle's earlier concerns, which we discussed, and
I may not be on the right page.
they have some hoop barns and some containers that are back there. Everything within those, that's the reason for the new building, is all that stuff's going in the building. There are some additional, these units you see in this picture right here, they're called peakers. They are a generator unit for locomotives, so where it looks like they might be sitting there, they're actually units that they build that come in, go out, they're being sold, so that is something of, that will fluctuate in as far as what's there and what's not.
So there'll always be something there.
There'll likely always be something, but it's, again, they build them, they move them outside, and then hopefully sooner than later, they're sold and they leave the site.
What's contained in them?
They're actually
It's a generator?
power generator units.
Large.
Oil, engines, things, leakage
No,
possibilities?
just self-contained, they're a self-contained generator unit.
Okay. Anything more from you, or I release my commissioners upon?
Got a few of the guys from Peaker are here, so
Okay, good.
if you have any operational questions, I'm sure they can pop up and
Okay, I guess probably our biggest concerns about gravel and not having that paved is leakage into the groundwater. Although if it's going onto the pavement, that's also an issue because it's going somewhere, so.
Yep.
All right. Dwayne, would you like to begin?
So I'm pretty familiar with this site. Everything Craig has alluded to is factual from what I know, based on his historical use. I've been on the property any number of times over the years, starting when Gordon Foods moved in, by the way. So there's an elephant in the room, and I would like to address that.
this is not a data center.
I didn't ask that.
That's not the elephant, that's,
Gentlemen in the back, you're all from Peaker, right? I want you to give me an emphatic answer on this question. Is there any intended use or application of a data center at your location?
No.
What's that?
No.
Thank you.
no. Said all three of them.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Hmm. Sarah?
I just had a concern about the gravel and actually a question for Rick or Leslie, the engineer, because of the retention pond and the water issues, but don't think we have an answer for that.
So is our issue, and potentially probably, the maximum impervious coverage of the soils?
No. The
Could there be less parking lot?
way
Can
the
you pay
water
that?
comes off of the building, and then the retention pond will fill up, and then you'll get some water coming back up. Only half of the building is taken care of. So I just had a question for Rick or Leslie. Otherwise, I'm fine with that.
Which can't,
I think the gravel, if you have this, if you pave it,
It
which
makes
is
it
gonna,
worse.
pardon?
The pavement would make it worse.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. The gravel, there's nobody gonna get gravel stones hit at them or anything. And the gravel actually will be able to soak some of that up, so. Paving
Agreed.
it would make it worse.
Mr. Marsh?
I just had one question on the drainage that I couldn't get an answer from Rick on. Right now, the new building, half of the water coming off the building goes to the driveway side. I can't keep track of your directions on that. And is collected and driven back down into the forebay. It comes down through the parking lot, piping in the parking lot,
Yep.
and goes into the forebay. I'll call it the back half of the building, that just falls off onto the ground?
No, both sides should be collected underground into a manifold into the pond.
I couldn't find that on,
Looking,
I couldn't find it on the drainage drawings.
Yes. What sheet am I on?
the
Who's the
utility
gentleman
plan.
from Brevard?
I'm
What's your name,
sorry,
sir?
Brian Rossbury, I work for Brevard Construction as well.
Brian Ross, thank you.
I'm gonna call it north. The north side is showing the storm collected in a series of downspouts and a manifold. It's got 10-inch, I'm sorry, I'm on sheet 05, the utility plan.
Yeah, it's gonna be further
Where am I? Is it further down?
down. Yeah, so the half of the building that is towards the entrance driveway.
Correct, that's the
Right.
north half I'm calling
Yeah,
it.
I think that goes through collection point R19 or something.
Yeah, it comes through a
Quite-
collection of a manifold.
Yeah, and then it falls,
Yep.
falls down and comes down
Yep.
and joins up with the new parking lot.
Correct.
And falls
Falls
into it.
into it.
Correct.
The other half of the building doesn't seem to have any collection on it.
I think with the proximity of the pond, he doesn't show that, but we would take the downspouts and we typically would collect them in an underground manifold to discharge them together in one point into the pond.
Well, that would affect the size of the piping that you would have in there. You've got collection points on the driveway, on the parking area between the new building and the old building. You've got some collection points there, and they process their way down and come in through into the forebay. But you would also have to accommodate the additional .71 acres of roofage for the pipe size. I guess I would feel comfortable if our engineer, who isn't here tonight, would take a look at that. It doesn't show up in your calculations.
Okay.
And so I know there was a question about how close your collection pipe was to the surface. It seemed like a few more inches of dirt would take care of that. But the size of the pipe might have to be adjusted in order to deal with that. And I hate to put a contingent on the approval for that. We don't like to have contingencies, contingent approvals, do we, Debbie?
We do not, but we want it answered too.
Yeah, I'd like to have that answered, if we could.
So to be clear, though, you don't think Rick has considered this?
I called him and asked him about it, and he promised to get back to me, which he has not. So I don't, right now, there's no collection facility shown.
Right.
That's, which means that there's an additional 7/10 of an acre of drainage that has to go into that piping system.
Right.
And the amount of water has to be accounted for.
I understand your
In
point.
talking through Rick through dealings, and I think he makes the comment on his review letter, but he's covered all the impervious, but in 7, note A, he just says, please note that the storm sewer sizing, height, material, and cover will be reviewed during detailed engineering. And I know that that has already been submitted for, and it's already under review.
So your detailed engineering is already in their hands?
Correct.
Okay.
All right. I
So-
can
so
live.
Rick's on it, just maybe not yet.
I can live with Rick's review because
They're thorough.
he's
He's the guy.
he's the guy.
He's thorough.
He absolutely is. One other question. If I can find a place in this.
Find your note,
Yeah, find my notes.
Larry knows.
The landscape plan, he wants to make sure that your landscaping doesn't impede access to the forebay and the detention basin. When I looked at the landscaping plan, that's item 4A. There is no 4B, so I'm not sure why there's a 4A. But he did make that comment, so when I looked at the landscape plan, it looked like there was shrubbery that was going to get potentially in the way of, right there, along the, God, what is that?
So north is like that, so we call this east and that north, we'll call.
All right, so,
East edge, south edge?
yeah, I guess the southeast edge. I don't know how they're gonna get into the forebay to do the maintenance with the landscaping
out.
there. Yeah,
With the trees
right,
this close.
yeah, with the
here.
trees pointed in there.
That's existing.
Just worry about accessing this to Mo.
But you gotta, every now and then, you gotta clean out your forebay. Right. So does your submitted engineering plan address that issue?
Do you have to be able to clean out the forebay at some point?
Yeah, I mean, that, I'm assuming that would be a part of a typical maintenance agreement.
Appears to be room in between those ridges.
I know there's gonna be enough room because these gentlemen actually, when they get if you've ever been by there, they will typically get a unit out that comes outside on the rail that runs, and so they're effectively working in that area out there as well, so,
Oh, those are the rails there
Oh, the
on
rails
south
actually
end.
extend down through there?
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a spur
Okay.
that comes down.
All right, that's,
So there's
All right, there's,
adequate
All right, so
space to
there's
get in and out of there.
all right.
all right.
Yeah, because the rails go into your building or around or.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
And the 28 replacement trees, are you going to put those on your property, or the replacement trees for the trees you're removing? And your landscape plan meets our requirements for landscaping, but then you've got an additional 28 replacement trees as a result of taking some trees out and a couple of landmark trees, et cetera.
They're included in the landscape plan.
Those are
Okay.
part
The
of it.
replacement trees are part of the planting list,
Okay.
Okay.
in addition to the required
In addition to the requirements?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That wasn't clear to me, but there's a lot of things that fall under that. I think,
A lot of applicants try to double count, so I'm always looking for that.
all right. Well, that was it. So I'm going to rely on the engineering plan and Rick's meticulous reviews.
Very thorough.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
So
Audrey?
my question is based on the bringing in the more employees and the need for more parking. Is that going to be to the existing building, or will that be to the addition as well? Where you're
Both, I mean, they
speaking of
both-
the,
They're both functioning literally
So-
as one.
Okay, well, that will either eliminate or add to the landscaping issue if you have to make a parking lot.
What's that?
We're losing that one whole row of parking.
Right, but your counts are actually up.
You have more, so
Okay.
apparently you have more than is required.
Correct.
You have enough at this point.
Correct.
More than.
More than enough.
More than.
Significantly.
For this use, there's two different ways they can calculate the parking, from the square footage or from the employee count, and it's always whatever's greater. And for this, what was used was the square footage, but it sounds like if they're gonna have more employees in the future,
Still enough.
which I'm sure it will be enough parking, but it won't be as significantly overparked as it is now,
Okay.
I'm guessing.
Council Audrey?
Oh, I'm good, thank you.
Douglas?
So, kind of piggybacking off of that, with the increase in the number of employees, et cetera, it appears as though the septic field was only designed for 40 people, 40 employees, or 40 users. I mean, I think you probably got to look at it if you've got visitors as users.
For this building.
For this building, yeah.
Correct.
Do we know, I mean, because if you, what do we have, 86 spots, 96 spots, something like that?
96.
So, not call it 90 spots, it's obviously more than double the 40, and at the other building's 30,000 square feet. So, have we looked at, to make sure there's enough septic? I mean, septic's not under our purvey,
Right.
but,
Yeah, their existing field is in the.
right, it's kind of to the north of the existing building in that
back
green
for
belt there.
That existing area.
I mean, just something I want to,
Yep.
as a builder myself, I would hope that you would catch it so you guys don't have issues for them.
100%.
3 years down the road, your warranty's up, but they're not happy when their field's got to be replaced.
We employ 86 people, so if everybody was at the facility, all those spots would actually be full. But we have a lot of road work, field service. It's not up enough.
All right.
That was my,
Doug?
was, yeah, with the septic, and I think the gravel, I mean, it makes sense, I can deal with it, we've already got engineering comments, so.
Right, and I just want to add that in the packet on CES's letter dated July 28th, it does say approved as noted for site plan approval, and everything for engineering will be reviewed in engineering phase, not in site plan approval. So
Okay.
that's, and it's in the packet.
All right, then I guess our only other concern to ask about is, was there any other proposed site location to not cut down landmark trees? Would anything else work for you? I know you have it all set in stone. How many landmark trees are coming out? 12?
Three.
Three?
I think there were 3 landmarks.
Those ones in the, Audrey, you had the aerial photograph. Are they just in that courtyard there where you're gonna build that? There aren't too many other places, are there?
These are black cherry. Cherry, landmark. Which one's?
Zooming in. So, I don't know who took this aerial photograph. It looks like they were doing loop-de-loop.
This one.
Oh, you got a better one. Where's that?
Um,
Well, anyway,
22 of 93.
I mean in my,
Page
22? There.
Clean one.
All right, that's the cleaner one. Oh, come on.
It's just not the-
Booey.
it's not the user-friendly. We're over here, this is the door.
All right, so the landmark trees that are in question are in that grassy area towards the center. I'm assuming right there. Those are the 3. I don't know what more you could do to avoid those with your building, and you're making do with other trees to match it. Okay. Does anyone else have any questions, concerns?
No, sir.
All good? We good? All right. A motion's in order then about site plan approval.
I'd like to make a motion to approve site plan, somewhere in my paper, site plan number SPO 4-2026 for Peaker Services located at 8080 Kensington Court, Brighton, Michigan, 48116. It's a 10.05 acre parcel. The parcel ID 4716-13-100-010. Noting that the gravel section of the driveway is not used for employee parking. The gravel surface potential problems arising from dust will not be a problem with this area. And the hard surfacing will not significantly increase stormwater runoff as it already exists.
I'll make a motion to second Larry's.
Support we have. A roll call vote, please, Sarah.
Chris Burkhalter,
Yes.
Doug Neal,
Yes.
Deborah McKenzie,
Yes.
Larry Marshall,
Yes.
Audrey Bear,
Yes.
Dwayne Jenke,
Yes.
Sarah Pearsall, yes.
Very good.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Keep up the good work. Thank you for your business in our township.
And thank you for not bringing a data center.
No days. And thank you for dotting all your i's and crossing all your t's ahead of time. Thank you very much.
I will be calling Rick.
Apparently, he didn't call you back.
He did not.
He didn't show up either, so
I will be calling
he's
Rick.
getting it. Okay, item 7B is a discussion over PUD regulation rewrite to replace the current open space planned unit development provisions proposed by the township planner. Isn't that you?
Yeah.
You want to rewrite your own work?
Well,
Might be a good idea. Why don't you explain yourself?
as you all know, we're doing a comprehensive update to the zoning ordinance, article at a time. And as promised, we're hitting the ground running with the PUD article. And we're not going to stop. The next one is use standards. So we're doing the biggies first. So get excited if you're not already. So in the packet, there's a draft article of a rewritten PUD article from the zoning ordinance. So this would replace the current open space PUD provisions, and it would allow for the PUD option to be available for residential, commercial, industrial, mixed-use, redevelopment, and adaptive reuse projects. It doesn't treat the PUD option as a way to just deviate from the zoning ordinance standards. It ensures that it is a negotiation between the township and a developer. The basic standard is that the PUD should produce a better development outcome than conventional zoning. And so any flexibility that is afforded to the developer from the township would need to be supported with improved design, compatibility with the surrounding area, resource protection, infrastructure, and other identifiable public benefits. So there's a few major changes that I want to go over because it's totally new. We didn't do like a red line version of the current one. So I'll just go over the major changes. We definitely did pull some stuff from the current one, the parts that are currently strong. So this is, the first big change is that it's a broader development tool. The existing article, it organizes it as an open space or a cluster development option. This proposed article creates a more generalized PUD option, which is used in most municipalities. That's how they use the PUD. And that can respond to a broader range of development types and different uses and redevelopment of sites. It also brings the approval standards together in one place, including compatibility, open space, circulation, stormwater, infrastructure, consistency with the master plan. The second big change is that the public benefit that's being offered is directly tied to the flexibility from the zoning ordinance standards.
Can you repeat that last statement?
The public benefit that the applicant's offering is tied to the flexibility that they're afforded from the zoning ordinance. I think that's what I said. And so the applicants would need to identify in the beginning the benefits that they wouldn't be able to achieve under conventional zoning. And that amount of flexibility that they're afforded would have to be proportional to the benefit that they're offering. So it's a true negotiation. And then the third is a defined density bonus. There's a definition now. I'll get to that in a second. But basically, for residential and non-industrial commercial projects, this version of the ordinance would allow a density bonus of up to 15% for qualifying improvements. And then potential bonus categories could include permanent preservation of open space, connecting to a regional trail, which is huge in Green Oak, providing enhanced transitions or buffers between residential properties, exceeding the stormwater requirements, also major, and then, or providing a public amenity. It's intended to be more predictable and really not just easier to administer and easier for developers to understand. And it can calculate density based on the current version calculates density based on a shift up to one zoning category, like one more intense zoning category. That's how the current PUD ordinance works. And then the Planning Commission could also consider additional density bonuses on top of that. And there's a couple other changes, major changes. The fourth major change is there's clearer preliminary and final review. The preliminary development plan is really establishing the overall concept, and it would address what the proposed uses are, what the proposed density is, how circulation would work, open space, public benefits, all the requested deviations, and then the phasing. And then in the final development stage, that's where we get into the real nitty-gritty. It's easier for both parties. That's an easier process for both the township and the developer. So they don't invest all this time into making a plan and they say, oh, but we already did this. And then you feel bad asking them to make changes. It's just easier we're doing it at concept level first. And then when they're producing the final, it's just details added to that concept level plan that's already been approved. And then the fifth major change is there's a clearer amendment process. I can send you something. I can send you this overview. Okay, Dwayne.
Dwayne wants to write it all down.
And it breaks it up into major
Dwayne's
changes, which would be essentially they have to go through the PUD process again because it's a major enough change that it's like they're redoing the PUD. And then also more limited changes. But the Planning Commission would still be the ones reviewing and approving those limited or more minor changes. There is, though, an item for you all to consider are there minor enough changes that can be reviewed and approved administratively, or does the Planning Commission want to retain the approving authority for minor changes as well? I mean, everything's up for discussion at this point, but in the memo that I provided, there were some guiding questions, and that's just one of them.
Write those up.
And then there's a couple procedural changes, like a formal recorded development agreement. They have to identify what deviations from the ordinance they are seeking specifically, and then extending the approval period for 2 years for preliminary development plan and then 3 years for final, just to reflect the state of what it is to develop in Michigan.
It takes a long time.
Yes. And then in the packet, there are some questions for you all to consider. This is just the first time you're all looking at it. This is only a discussion. If at some point this gets fleshed out in enough detail, you like it, then we can consider, public hearing and moving it forward to the township board.
So, items for Planning Commission discussion. The Planning Commission should consider the following questions. Is the maximum 15% density bonus appropriate? So explain that again. A density bonus would be allowing them more homes for the amenities that they offer, such as attachment
Exactly.
to area trails, things like that, more open space,
Exactly.
where the density that we allow now is a certain percentage.
Yeah, and they're, in the draft, there's like a table of what the elements that they're providing are and how much density each of those elements earns them. So it's really.
You scared Sarah Warner. Smack. I'm gonna sneeze.
So it's more flexible, but also more predictable, and it's systematic in how you award the density. So it's not just, oh, give 15 if you think it's good. It's, oh, does it hit this element? So it makes it, yeah, more predictable for the applicant and easier to administer.
Okay, discussion. What, do you guys think that's a beneficial idea? Deborah?
Oh, I'm fine with 15%.
I mean, if they're giving us certain things, we can
Bump it up.
put in some more houses.
Yeah, this is above and beyond
Uh-huh.
what they have to do in order to get the initial bonus, which is the reduction in lot sizes.
Right.
And there is a reduction in lot sizes, and they get some additional density as a result of that.
Then we
If
can
they do
say,
a
okay.
great job of that, then there's an additional 15% that can be added on.
I think that's fair.
And I like the table that you've got. Whether those are the right numbers, that's fine, but, 5% for this, 3 for this, et cetera. I like that idea.
It's something you could plan on, something you can bank
Yeah.
on.
Yep, yep.
There's a similar provision in the existing ordinance for exemplary projects. It's just, it's historically been hard to know when to apply that.
Exemplary, when, yeah.
Right.
That's a little,
A little subjective
a little
sounding.
vague, yeah.
That ordinance hasn't been rewritten in 15 years.
Great.
Any changes?
It makes it easier for everyone, for us
Definitely.
to-
Dwayne?
Well, Deb answered one question, is like, where is this coming from? What's the incentive to change? Is this retroactive to the existing PUDs that we have in play?
No. Whatever ordinance is in effect at the time the first application is submitted is the ruling regulation.
Okay, and what's the incentive? I know you went through all these changes that we're gonna
The ambiguities that are gone through?
smooth over, but have we really had pushback or heartburn or threats of being sued, litigation?
No, it's just hard, I think, for the developers it's not straightforward. There's a lot of questions that they need to come back to the planning commission to get answers for, and I just think this cleans it up.
We've had PUDs where we're talking about it and we've already gone through, like Michelle was just saying, that separating the big picture from the detail is making it easier, and this all helps. We've had to go back to the developer 10 times and say, we want this done, we want this done. And this would clear up some of the ambiguity and help make it easier. That's all.
I also believe it'll result in higher quality projects. In addition to really streamlining, and I hate using that term because it implies that we're like bypassing like due process, but it would streamline the development process and prevent so much back and forth that happens on the back end before it even gets to you. And then when it does get to you, it's not always the most exciting project to be looking at. You're like, this is a PUD. So.
But there are all kinds of background meetings that go, that happen
Right.
before, and then we see something 10 times where we're trying to deal with different questions.
Correct.
If this can streamline that, to use your word,
Yeah.
it's fair. Doug?
Any chance of, like, something that's been approved or been through, will they pull it and reapply to, if we pass kind of a new standard?
To go
Is
to
there
the
anything-
standard?
Like if they have an expired PUD
Yeah.
approval, yeah, that could be a chance.
I
I mean,
mean-
if they did, if it's expired and they reapply when this is adopted, this would be what
Right.
is in place.
Right, I mean,
What's Legacy Park? Isn't that over a year now?
No, they're almost finished.
Yeah.
They have been working on, so it's finalizing it up that takes so long to get through all of the reviews.
it's not the actual shovel in the ground.
Ground, right, it is, I think today we just got the latest PUD, some of the comments from Audrey,
Yeah.
or Aubrey, I'm sorry.
Oh, the development agreement.
Yep. mhm.
Like, that's something I wasn't sure, like, if there's something in this one that is oh, we can get 15% bonus, you know, well, I'm gonna stop, you know, pencils down on that, we're gonna wait for them to
Well,
enact
they-
this, and then,
Well, if that were the case,
Crank
then
up the-
they would have to change more because
Right.
suddenly they need to demonstrate more of a
Right,
benefit than they
right.
had to before.
Right.
So that would be cool.
So if somebody has a PUD that they're working on right now, and we go ahead and approve this within the next 6 months, let's be optimistic, and somebody else has a PUD that is in process, could be in final, and they need to make changes, do we go back to the old ordinances for any changes that they're looking at?
Whenever they submit the initial application, the ordinance that is in effect on that date is what applies.
So I can't throw this section out.
No, oh no, not for a while, yeah. You better, yeah.
Yeah,
Not for
we'll see.
5 years.
We'll see Tom again, is what I'm thinking.
That's exactly.
That's what you're thinking. I wondered where you're going. Okay, good discussion on that. Maximum 15% density bonus appropriate seems to be. Is the requirement to provide at least 50% of the net site area as permanent common open site space appropriate? Provide at least 50% of the net site area as permanent common open space.
Yeah, notably, that's net site area. So that's not nothing. So if they have a body of water, that doesn't count as open space anymore.
Right.
It used to.
It does currently, yes.
that's, I think this language is much better. Because it, you know, it's not that we're just, oh, we're preserving it. No, it has to be a common space that's available to
Usable.
use, right,
Frisbee,
right.
whatever.
It's not a,
That a
A
wetland.
detention basin and a pond.
Yeah, that a wetland.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, yes, that seems to be appropriate. Agreed?
Yep.
Yes.
Just in discussion. 3, are the proposed density bonus categories and associated percentages appropriate?
And we kind of already talked about that.
Right,
Yeah.
and they seem to be, yes. Okay.
So do we have any clue of any PUDs in play right now?
Right, so right now, Frog Lake submitted about 3 weeks ago, which is right across the street, which is Toll Brothers. Or I'm sorry, Steve Schaefer, who is doing the development, but Toll Brothers is, no, Schaefer Development, not Schaefer
It
Construction.
would be Toll Brothers Home.
It'll be built by Toll Brothers.
So this one.
And that's the, and then we have Legacy Park Residential. The old Timberview did come and meet with me and Mark, but
Where was that, 9 Mile?
9 Mile and Rushton.
And
But now they're thinking about doing multifamily, and coming back with a proposal for that.
So there's nothing in the
Three,
works, nothing in the works.
Between pre-application well, I imagine there's even talks with Deborah before it gets to pre-application meeting, but before, the time between pre-application meeting and submittal is usually multiple months. So there's plenty of lead time to tell potential applicants, hey, there's new regulations coming.
Yeah.
Okay. Item 4, should both the planning commission and township board hold public hearings? As compared to just the planning commission holding a public hearings?
Yes.
We should be able to cover that without taking up the time of the township board and multiple
What
issuing.
is the reasoning behind that?
Some communities like to do it because for PUDs, they're generally bigger projects and they have more,
Stuff.
yeah, the public likes to be more involved, but they may not be aware of planning commission meetings as much as they are as township board meetings. But there's also a set of standards that PUDs have to comply with, which you're all familiar with. So it's just a different way of communicating really and educating the public.
Everybody.
Yeah, I think multiple public hearings, you know, more opportunities for the public to speak to government employees, I think that's not a bad thing.
even
Do
with,
you happen to know what communities around us do public hearings at the township board level?
Directly adjacent, I don't know, but of the communities that we work with, Scioto Township does, not a lot.
Okay.
what's,
It's
the-
rare.
what's the cost
Good
of
question.
notifying for a public hearing? Roughly.
Well, it depends on how many
Mailers.
notices you have to mail out. I mean, and
Those have to be, so
so 300 feet.
within 300
adjacent.
feet and the newspapers,
300.
300 feet of it. So you got a ballpark?
Well, it depends. I mean, some developments, you could have hundreds of mailings, parcels that you have to mail to, and others, you have 3. So it really depends
All right, so that- so
how
that-
many
so that varies
residential
quite.
or whatever's around you.
And the impact of doing a second public hearing is also related to how well the municipality's general communication is, because getting 2 mailing notices might not even be an effective way to communicate to folks, especially if there's an active newsletter or like less formal way to communicate to the public through social media. Hey, this is happening, to just notify them of a public meeting and the topic that is on it, rather than an official public hearing. And there's always public comment at township board meetings as well. So, just to argue against myself.
With the required notice, does that add extra time?
Yes.
Yes.
I would say that would add extra.
Yes.
5 weeks or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it would be the next, it'd be the cycle after
Right.
we make motion on
Yeah.
something.
It's more than 30 days.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, to get it on.
To get- yeah, right.
Basically, you need 21 days just to get it to the paper, and depending on how the meetings fall, it does put it out.
Can be 5-6 weeks.
Yeah, I don't think we need that.
I don't know that we need it. I mean, the planning commission, I pretty much consider this our job. And that we deliver to the township board
Yeah,
after we've gone through all the nuts and berries.
That's what you're charged with, yeah.
yeah.
That's our-
and
that's
the-
our job.
And the public hearing, call the public in the township, they could speak out there too if they have a concern.
Of course.
So I don't see a real reason for that.
You guys think, Doug?
I'm in agreement. I don't know that there's, it is our job. I mean, that's,
It's our job. That's our commission. Okay. Those are our thoughts. Larry?
I still think an extra public hearing is valuable for the township board to actually hear
Fair enough.
directly from the residents.
But they would if
And
they
they
had.
get, they get to share in the fun we get.
Okay, so, sure.
Another option, and I actually want to look into this, since the State Enabling Act only requires a public hearing with mailed notices and published in the paper at the Planning Commission level, I'll double check this. I think there could be a second public hearing at the township, I'm not putting it in air quotes, a second public hearing at the township board meeting, but that doesn't include those mailed notices because presumably everyone already received one. So it could just check the box of being published and then have the actual time at the meeting for the public hearing
Without the expense,
of the mailing, yeah. Which, I mean, is always, which should go to the applicant anyway, but regardless, there's an administrative cost to doing the labor of mailing out there.
Right.
So
Okay.
Okay.
that's a little hybrid option, but let me look into it. I don't
Right.
see an issue with it, but
Well, I don't disagree that more public hearings are
Public involvement is
right,
good.
is good.
We need that.
Well, there's nothing wrong with being open and transparent, but at
No.
the same time,
We don't need to be redundant as well.
Well, we don't need to put speed bumps in the way of the process. If they're not effective or meaningful, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
So there just needs to be a purpose and, a benefit.
Yep.
15% benefit.
All right, okay, good discussion on that. Public hearings were a little both ways. Okay. Nothing decisive. 5, should minor changes be approved by the planning commission or administratively? We get hit with so many little minor changes sometimes that, and we don't approve anything on conditions. But I'm all for administratively this little change. But how do we do that without approving something with conditions?
Yeah, I think the planning commission needs to see
I
even
think-
the minor changes.
I think we stay with the planning commission.
Just because we need to know what the changes are and how they happened,
And no, we won't approve this until
regardless
those are.
if they're
Right,
minor
especially
or
if
major.
it's something that's gonna come back. Well, you set the precedence with this. And
Right.
Wait a minute, we didn't set that precedence. Oh, that got tweaked administratively,
Right.
and,
I think
you know,
we
the ball
keep,
just,
I say we keep it
Snowball
with the
starts
planning
this
commission.
big.
It's our ball, it's our problem, it's ours to deal with, and no contingent,
Great. I was hoping you would say that.
okay?
'Cause then they could bombard with a series of administrative
That's-
level
that's-
requests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's
we wouldn't
materially
even know
changed.
that they
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
No, I'd rather, no, you come back when you got that straight. Come back.
Yep.
It adds to your time, you didn't figure it out ahead of time. Okay, we're in agreements there. Number 6, should any portion of the existing open space PUD provisions remain as a separate development option?
Or does this work for the open space intent?
I feel like it works better.
You show you the whole picture
Yeah,
up front.
I think it would get messy if we had
Right.
some things that were in
There,
this
yeah.
section and other stuff over there. Things are confusing enough. I don't think we need to add confusion.
Great.
Dwayne, thoughts?
I
think you're
need
stewing.
to ruminate on that point.
You ruminate.
He was stewing.
Okay, he
There
was
you go.
stewing, I could see his brain turn. Doug?
I think having one spot is the right way to go.
Yeah.
Because
The whole
we've,
package.
unfortunately, we've done it in the past where we thought we were clear, and we kind of contradict ourselves.
Very true.
Yeah, we need to keep it consistent. It's-
There's just one thought I would add, is that the planning commission presents a vote of a recommendation
To the board.
to the board. And the board makes the legal binding decision, not the planning commission.
Correct.
So the board takes, township board takes the most responsibility, a legal step, in approving or denying whatever commentary is coming from the planning commission.
But they count on us to go through the nuts and bolts.
And I hope they continue to do that. That's right.
I think we do a good job at it, but I think
I just
keeping
want-
this all contained in the planning commission as much as possible.
Oh, yeah, and I think that's the purpose. That is why we exist, and that's to deal with the nitty-gritty, these administrative changes.
Clean up the little details.
Yeah, I think that's a key point to remember what our job is.
Agreed. Any other thoughts? Deborah?
No.
Good? Okay. Good discussion. Anything more on this?
You've given me a little bit of homework for the fourth question, so I'll come back with some potential options.
Both the planning commission and the township board holding public hearings.
Right,
Okay.
right, how to do, yeah, so that's good. So we can talk about this again at the next meeting.
We
give-
shall.
And give you all more time to maybe review it again, and then I'm sure you'll have
No, you gotta use the right word, ruminate.
ruminate, yes, please ruminate.
I collect royalties.
Okay.
And then
All right.
at that point, we'll decide what you want to do next, public hearing or what?
Discussion duly held.
I had a couple of questions, kind of general questions. The process for determining density, what didn't seem as clear to me as in the old ordinance, where a plan is developed, a site plan is developed with the existing zoning, then a site plan is, a standard site plan, if you will, is developed with the reduced lot size zoning, and that's used as a basis for the density calculation. I did not see how we actually determine an approved density for a particular PUD.
how you determine density, they have to supply the information for what the density they're proposing is.
And then that
As
would do
per-
lot size.
Right, but when you do a plan with roads and stormwater management and setbacks and all of this,
And 50% open land.
and you're 50% of net open
Net.
property. I mean, we struggled mightily with Dove Lake on that particular issue. And we had a fairly straightforward plan in front of us that ultimately resulted in the 37 lots on that. And that took negotiations to get there and to get them to actually make a plan that was doable with those lot sizes. And I'm not comfortable having a developer come in and say, oh, it's gonna be 37 lots. We can do that. I can find the spot in our existing ordinance that gives you that, but there is a place that specifies that 3 plans need to be submitted as part of the preliminary process.
3 different plans.
3 different plans, one with existing zoning as it stands today. One with the zoning, with the lot sizes as defined in the table that says you get, wherever that table is. I have a question on that. Yeah, on page 7, you know, if you're looking at RF zoning, you use 2.5 acres, RE, 1.5 acres, et cetera, et cetera. So they develop a plan that has 1.5 acre lot sizes. And it's gotta have road frontage, it's gotta have setbacks, it's gotta have side yard setbacks, it's gotta have all of that. And you've gotta be able to build a cul-de-sac that's short enough, which was the problem with Dove Lake,
Can't be 750 feet.
751 feet.
751 feet.
Right. And that's not included in here that I could see.
That they have to develop a plan under conventional zoning,
Yes,
that's not being requested of them
I know that.
intentionally.
So, and I don't really care if they don't do one with the existing zoning. But I don't know how else we define a legitimate density, say an RE development that normally would be built with 2 acres. We don't really need to see that. But I'd like
Right.
to see a standard, I'd like to see a development with the 1.5 acres, with all of the setbacks and all of the requirements and all of that that says, okay, you can put 37 lots in. Then they come back with what they want, which is these 37 lots are grouped in a much smaller area, but they're held to 37 lots.
So the way the current ordinance requires that demonstration of what conventional zoning looks like is a very unconventional way to do a PUD. And it's because the standards aren't very clear. So it's relying on like the visual impact of seeing the 2 different plans and seeing the 2 different calculations. With this version, the intended outcome is because there's all these standards that they have to meet, and because we have the new density plan minimum lot size and all the other zoning ordinance standards that they have to comply with, and then whatever additional density features they're including to get that bonus, we can see on the plan if they comply with these requirements without them having to demonstrate what conventional zoning would look like. So in a way, we don't need to review 2 plans because we're just going through the lens of what are the benefits they're offering, and I need to see them on here. Is that proportional to the deviations that they're requesting, which they also need to state, which they don't currently need to state what the deviations are. That's not required, even though we ask them to, it's not a requirement.
It is a requirement.
It's not written that they have to state it in the preliminary submission. But we ask
I'll
them to.
challenge you on that, but I'll.
Okay. And so there wouldn't be a need to produce another plan set. Because there's just like a whole new set of standards
Here are your
that we're
guidelines.
analyzing it through.
So, we'll take Dove Lake, my favorite. They came back and said they could create 37 lots using the 1.5 acre lot size and still meet all of our normal requirements. So now the density was set at 37. originally with RE zoning, they could have only put 31 lots in there. Okay? So now, I can look at their plans and I can see, okay, it's got 37 lots, all right. How you want to set those up, I'm fine with how you want to do that. Quarter acre lots, maybe, but at least now, I mean, they could come in and say, we could do 42 lots in this. Well, how do I know that they could do 42 lots?
Under conventional zoning, how do you know they could do 42 lots?
How do I know that since we're saying that their density planned minimum lot size is an acre and a half, if they never show a plan that does that, like with Dove Lake, they said, I've got this big chunk of property and I'm gonna make 37 quarter acre lots. Even though we said your density planned minimum lot size is an acre and a half. How do I know that 37 is their number?
Well, you have to have 50% net open space, right? All right, so then you say, how big, how dense do you want it? I mean, what are we going to approve? And then they can tell you how many houses will fit on what we say is dense enough. Okay, so that's 20 or that's 25.
So where do we pull that number out of? Because they presented a plan with quarter
We
acre
don't pull the
lots.
number out, we look at the plan they're presenting.
Right.
And we work through that.
So I guess take an RF underlying zoning district.
That's a bad example.
Yeah, that's 5 acres, so.
That's a bad
Take an
example.
RE.
RE is
I was
fine.
doing RF for simple math, but okay, take an RE. So it's 2 acres under the zoning ordinance and then 1.5 with a density plan minimum. So if they are, whatever the property size is, if they're preserving half, true preserving, it's not a lake, and then they fit 20 units on, that are 1.5 acres, they don't need to create a different plan with 2 acre lots that encroaches some of that open space in order to demonstrate that that same number of units on 2 acre lots would result in less open space.
That was a long sentence.
I know. We've been doing a lot of long sentences.
But it was a good sentence.
You can follow Larry.
You didn't write it down, Dwayne.
Did you read it back?
We're going back to YouTube later. This is a discussion.
Like, I agree, the
I know,
visual
it's
is,
a
the
discussion.
visual is
The
nice.
visual you're stuck on. You're stuck on the visual.
I'm stuck on trying to figure out, so in the case, I'll go back to Dove Lake. He could have probably put 50 quarter acre lots and still saved 50% of that piece of property. So would that be, so what is the 1.5 acre for then? What does that do?
Well, this is a kind of an odd way to do density bonuses that is unique to the Green Oak, and it's a bit of a leftover from the existing PUD ordinance. Not a lot of times the PUD ordinance doesn't establish minimum lot sizes at all, and it leaves it open to, okay, well, how do you want to deviate? And let us know how you are going to balance that deviation with a flexibility that's proportionate. And that is an alternative way that we could do this. Sort of scrap the table and just rely on the proportional benefit flexibility.
All right.
Discussion.
Yeah, discussion. I would just want to try and understand it.
Take that piece of paper and throw it away. That's a different model.
No, shred it.
We're going new now. Okay. We're
Yeah.
New
moving
parameters
in a
seem more friendly to incoming lot buyers or, I mean,
Developers.
yeah, developers and everything, because you would rather, I said to your favorite Dove Lake person, why don't you just have 18 lots? Why are we jamming 37 in there? Because, you know, there's no room for anything. Well, it's all down that, but then it would be more presentable to the eye, to the green space, to everything, if the people across the lake weren't so annoyed at what they were looking at. I mean, it just works better. I mean, yes, it all comes down to money, but then we were talking about cars on the road and use in the lot and water tables, all the things.
All right, we shall table this discussion.
Yeah.
I'll present a couple different
We'll come back-
ways
we'll come back with more.
to do this specific section.
Okay.
And we can maybe even like zero in on that for the next discussion.
Okay.
One other item that I'd like to see addressed somehow in
Yeah.
this is a sunset clause that is effective on these. And I'll use Mallard Landing as an example. Mallard Landing was a PUD that was approved around 2000, somewhere around 2000, so 26 years ago. Nothing ever happened to that. Somebody comes along, fortunately, a person came along and bought the whole thing. But if somebody wants to come in and now develop that, what do we use as a way to look at how they are supposed to develop it? Because right now, that zoning is PUD R2. So I would like to see something more definitive than the township may rezone it, which is what is stated in here. I would like to see that it gets rezoned either to its former zoning, or it gets zoned to the equivalent of what the master plan calls for. Because otherwise,
After a certain amount of time.
it sits there 26 years.
Yep.
For 26 years, you know,
That's over by your house, right off of Silver Lake.
it's right behind me.
Right. I mean, in the lakes
Yes.
there, yeah, off Silver Lake.
Yeah, it's right.
The ordinance does say that it reverts back to, I do recall something in there saying it reverts, if they don't build, it reverts back to the original zoning.
It has to be
26 years.
rezoned.
Yeah.
Right,
It has, and we've never done that.
right.
Oh, I see.
You
Right,
have
yeah.
to- And I bugged Michael about that several times. We need, the township planning commission and the township board need to take a definitive action to change it back.
Correct. So, I mean, we can
I would like
make a mo,
something,
and direct the zoning administrator to start the process of rezoning the property back.
I mean, and I know it says it, if things don't happen,
Right.
it may be rezoned.
So you would like will instead of may?
Shall.
Shall, of course, yeah.
Shall.
Oh, and I will say, there is
Gonna.
the benefit to letting an expired PUD sit and stay PUD is that, and I know I could see the argument against what I'm about to say, but it allows the town, it gives the township control, because whoever buys that property now has to go through the PUD or the rezoning process in order to develop anything, because
Right.
essentially nothing's approved on that site.
Right.
So it's
Well,
like,
only just the PUD.
which is
Correct.
expired.
Well,
Right.
So it's really like they have to go through some process,
Yeah.
which is some control, but I can see if you don't want to do that, you could say, okay, the township shall go through the rezoning process, go back to the underlying district, and then someone who wants to build something by right can just do a site plan.
starts over.
Yeah, which is I think what you're saying, right, Larry?
Yes.
Shall and will.
Shall, will,
Shall.
gonna,
Ought to? No, shall.
oughta.
What?
Just so you know, that idea came from Deb.
All right. Are we good on this discussion?
Yep,
That was a long discussion.
Thank
it
you.
was.
Okay. Then we'll conclude our business items. And thank you, everyone, for your discussions. Reports. Chairman's report, put up the drone this week. Doan and Rushton is open.
Be careful at the intersection.
No, it's much
Oh,
safer.
I thought it was very nice. I drove it.
It's much safer.
On Tuesday, 20 times. I thought, oh, this is
I
beautiful.
haven't done it yet.
So going up, in the photograph going up, the way the car is Doan Road, and they've tamed that hill.
Yes.
And so it's much less of an incline
What they didn't do, I'm really surprised, is have guardrail
on the other side.
on the other side,
I
because
know. There's a good drop off.
somebody this winter is going
Oh,
to
yeah.
turn
It's gonna go down.
westbound on it, and they are going to
They're going down.
right down that bank.
Yep, I don't know why they didn't.
Well,
But I am neither a road engineer nor a Livingston County Road Commission employee.
I don't use
I
it
will
for
say
that,
that
so.
that gives me 10 minutes back in my morning.
Absolutely.
Every
Absolutely.
day.
It was, but in 5 weeks, they did
Yeah.
it. So it's much safer now.
It's better.
The left turn lane when you're going northbound is very clear, and it's quicker. You're not as worried about people making the wrong turn. I've, 28 years I've lived here, and many times I have to slam on my brakes.
Yep.
So that's a good thing.
Just be careful.
Yep, still be careful, it's new, right? But I think it's more user-friendly. I'm gonna give this over to Audrey. Audrey's got something to say.
Township Board. Yeah, it's a little bittersweet week. It's been, Tuesday was a huge election day, which I always like as a chair at Bremer School. But my husband and I bought a house, and it is actually in the city of Brighton, city limits. So I'm leaving Green Oak Township and moving into city limits. But I'll stay on as an election worker and see your faces at Kroger and all the things.
Thank you for your input and
It's
your
been
hard work.
wonderful. Yes.
It's been nice.
Eye-opening and fun and exciting all at the same time.
When is this effective?
We closed today at 2:30. Oh, wow.
Now,
Yeah. This is your last meeting?
now, yeah, thank you,
Sorry to see you go.
thank you. Thank you for
Thank you very much.
helping us out.
It's been fun.
Be sad to see you go, but I'm so happy you decided to stay on the
It was,
election.
yeah.
Thank
Oh,
you.
Yes, I'm an election.
That's nice of you to help with that. Deb needs it.
Yes, I'm looking for election workers.
Uh-huh.
Always, yeah.
Township Board Representative, Madam Clerk.
Okay, so I have something I want to read from the supervisor. He read it last night. So over the weekend, it came to our attention that a Facebook post claimed that Green Oak Charter Township is considering the development of a 60,000 square foot data center. As we know, that claim is false. The 60,000 square foot building referenced in the post was submitted by Peaker Services to expand its existing building. Peaker Services specializes in rebuilding diesel engines for the railroad industry, and the proposed addition is intended solely to support that operation. That post also referenced the township's high intensity facility overlay district map and suggests that it's connected to a pending data center proposal. That is also incorrect. The Township Board adopted the high intensity facility overlay district ordinance as a proactive planning measure. Its purpose was to establish clear standards to identify appropriate areas where high intensity facilities, including data centers, would be considered in the future if an application were ever submitted. Without an ordinance, those uses would potentially seek approval in any limited industrial zoning district. By adopting a comprehensive ordinance, the township established objective standards and avoiding creating exclusionary zoning ordinance under Michigan law. The Facebook post suggests that discussions regarding a data center are taking place behind closed doors or outside the public process. This is simply not true. There is no current application, proposal, or pending request for a data center anywhere within Green Oak Charter Township. Furthermore, there is no circumstance under which any township board member, including myself, would sign a non-disclosure agreement, an NDA, that would prevent the public from knowing about proposed development or land uses within the township. Green Oak Charter Township conducts its business in accordance with public meeting requirements. Land use application, zoning amendments, and development proposals are reviewed through a transparent public process that includes public notices, open meetings, and opportunities for residents to provide input. We encourage residents to rely on information provided through official township channels and public meetings rather than social media speculation. Should a data center ever be proposed in the future, it would be considered through the same open and transparent public process required of every development application. That being said, we have re-looked at the high intensity facility overlay district map, and the township board is asking the planning commission to reconsider and relook at the ordinance, the district map, to remove 2 parcels off of Spicer Road and get them out of the overlay district, because the EPA is now recommending Superfund sites to be redeveloped as, could be a data center. So we want to pull that right off there, and before anything happens. So I'm hoping that the planning commission will give direction to have a public hearing, which have been proactive.
So these are the 2 parcels in question. 005 and 004. Back up one more. These are in Spicer. Here's Spicer Road, is follow the cursor. This is where Mush Road?
Yes,
here.
Mush
Over
and-
here is Willow Woods. Right here, we have High Hills Arbor to the north. These funds are both, these properties are both Superfund sites that are very contaminated, both of them, right and left. Both of them are roughly 10 acres. No, more than that, I think. Well, it'll tell me. This one in particular,
It was just there. It showed
39,
I think they're 80, I think it's 80 acres total.
looked like 40 and 40.
right
30,
there.
yeah, 40, so 40 and 40, okay. But they're pretty much useless for anything else.
Unbuildable.
Unbuildable. And if the EPA is pushing to have those used, then we don't want them used.
So we should go ahead and do the public hearing.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you need direction on that, Mr. Chairman?
I just,
Do we need
I
just?
don't think so, I think.
yep, I will.
Yes.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. I mean, if we didn't look at it close enough, so be it. It was hard, it was a hard thing to go through, and we did our best. If we
Yes.
need to amend our hard work, so be it.
Yesterday, a resident came in, and she is here today also, and she gave us some data centers on contaminated sites and why the EPA is pushing that. So if
Okay,
anyone, it's in front of you also.
Yep.
then we'll go back over that. Okay. Thank you, Deborah. Zoning Board of Appeals Representative, Sarah?
Yes, we haven't had a meeting. Our next meeting is in September, and there's two applicants.
Okay. All right. Planning consultant.
Use standards are next, so get ready for more robust discussion about zoning ordinance rewrites.
Love robust.
Last-
Me too.
Makes Dwayne ruminate.
I'm starting.
Correspondence. Ashley, is there anything that we didn't get?
No, nothing I can think of. I'll get the 300-foot notices sent out for the public hearing for getting these 2 lots off of the overlay district.
I'm sure they'll come and be happy about it, yeah. Okay. Then a call to the public. Is there anyone that wishes to comment on anything? Please come up. Please state your name and address. You come up to the podium there. The microphone should be on. That's okay. There's nobody near you.
As last night, my name is the same, Carolyn Carty, C-A-R-T-Y. I live at 10454 Canita Drive in Brighton. Lived there since 1981. And so I am well acquainted with the Superfund sites that are pictured right here. And we went through a good deal of fighting over it at the time. We had our group hire an attorney to deal with it, and we had our thing called Citizens Action, and the action part stood for Citizens Against Toxicity in Our Neighborhood, and there was a lot. So as you know, the sites were dealt with, and I gave I think you have the handout I gave, which is basically about the sites, because Mark St. Charles did, I think as you read, which is now on your website, I saw today, is printed, which is nice. And he really gave a very impassioned speech about it, and some of it was off the record, you know, as an aside, but you could tell he was very much concerned. However, there was never any discussion in that about what the sites were. The people were very happy to hear that there was not going to be any data centers in the neighborhood, but it was never said why. And so, I mean, everybody was applauding, and even the person who was here as an attorney, hired, I guess, by the site, thanked him and said, well, I have not anything else really to say. But the Superfund aspect of it just never came up. It was never mentioned. And so I felt that it was my duty to get up and tell people, particularly, I didn't know if any of the new people who moved in this area, who built in those subdivisions, actually knew that they were building in an area that had been polluted by the Superfund sites. Now, the Spiegelberg site, as I think I mentioned the other night, had gotten pretty much cleaned up. I mean, there was bad stuff in there, and Ford Motor Company was, you know, dealing with helping with that out. I think a lot of the stuff might have gone to, I don't know, someplace out in Utah or Montana, so it went away. But the Rasmussen site did not get all taken away.
So, the one on the right with the, where my cursor is, and the ridge kind of showing with the shadow,
Okay.
that's the one to the east of the other. It looks like that one was significantly cleaned up or mitigated.
Which one?
Well, the one on the right, see where my cursor is
Yes,
there?
I do. But I think that isn't that the Rasmussen site?
I'm not certain, because I don't know myself. The other
Yeah.
one, the other one to the left of it.
Actually, I
If you
still
click
have
on it, you
some
can
of
see
the
who's there.
documents
Oh, I see.
from that time period.
Okay.
And the problem with that is that from the Rasmussen dump site, which is the sites that I put into the handout, which I hear you have.
Rasmussen.
Yes, yeah, and basically, that stuff didn't all go away.
What
And
was
there-
it originally? It was a dump?
Well, I think it was there. Well, one of them was collecting old cars, and I'm not sure. Even before the Superfund site, there was some fires going on up there of things that were burning, and I think even prior to our knowledge of it, a lot of people developed cancer as a result of that.
There are still many, many cars.
Oh, I know. It's a junkyard. It's a junkyard. And I don't know if they were collecting the cars for monetary purposes. And actually, one of the people who came to my house, I think it was on the 2nd or so, and to tell me about this new data center thing, said they bought that, and I don't think at the time they knew about it, but they knew about the fact that there were cars there. They live on, basically, it's the corner where Canida comes up to Spicer, and then they're the first house on Spicer right after Canida.
Right there. Like, oh,
Yeah,
2 acres.
and so I went and
That's
spoke.
very close to a Superfund site.
Well, what's really odd is I looked at what you gave me tonight, which is the progression of things that are taking place. And there is this map is interesting, but it doesn't say anything on
So
it.
that map is just for the mailings. It's to show all the parcels that are going to receive a mailing. It's within the 300 feet of the parcels.
Okay.
So,
And are these the people that are going to,
yes.
I
It would
do not know
It
why.
would be all of these
Yeah,
locations on
but,
the right
but
side.
my name and address is not on
Because
here.
you're not within the 300 feet. You don't, the map is done by GIS, and you're not in it because as it collects the parcels and puts
I
the
have
overlay
the
on it.
longest line on Canida that goes up to these. I actually I'm
Where are you-
adjacent,
Where are you, Carolyn?
10454
Yeah.
Canita Drive.
Can you show me on the map?
I
Is it
did.
that- is it that
I
large parcel?
signed up on the sheet that was, people were asking for an affidavit to say that we didn't receive anything. And I wrote my parcel on it. It's 4716 dash, I don't know if it's on there, 29-100-036.
036.
And we were part of the whole series
Just
going
looking
on
to see where
in
036.
I don't see it.
3038, 037.
036 south. You're not within 300.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right here. This is you.
Where am I? Well, I was given something to sign.
Right.
And I know that we were part of being adjacent to that. And I
Right.
was on the map that was given to me,
Carolyn.
too.
Carolyn.
Yeah. So I don't know how that happened.
I'm not quite sure, so I did it through our BSNA software with the GIS map that coordinates. You put the parcels in, and then you generate the map
Looks
by
like-
putting it in there.
Looks like you're about 523 feet away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost.
And
I mean, someone
But you
else
got
was
the
like
information.
316 feet, and they didn't receive a notice either.
so it's,
But we
It's-
love, but you.
I'm
your
adjacent,
public comment, we love.
Yeah.
And we appreciate the history on this.
yeah,
So
but
you're
I
welcome to come back and
know.
talk with us when we're going through
I mean,
this.
we even had stuff tested at the time of this, and there were PCBs in the vacuum cleaner cleanup. So, well, I mean, it's, even if you are not adjacent, to a piece of property, things that are coming off of that property that is close to you are still impacting your.
Agreed, but the legal requirements of the mailings of the notices to people are 300 feet.
Yeah, so
know.
I don't know why the person came to me with the affidavit to sign that I hadn't received anything. And there was also the question of zoning. Now, in addition to doing planning, you are also doing zoning? Or is that a
No.
special
Well,
board?
we do rezoning requests for commercial properties, not for residential properties.
Well, we do rezonings on residential properties too.
Because
but-
somebody said this was rezoned, the whole property where this
Oh,
was.
No.
So
No,
I
we just
don't-
created an overlay district.
Okay.
We were just trying to map out some parcels that if, let's say, a data center did want to come in, that this was maybe a good place for them to go. Now we're rethinking that.
I hope so.
Well, we are. You caught that. We are.
Yes, and I think it's important that people do understand that even though sites are Superfund sites, they're not all cleaned up.
No,
There is supposed to be, in 2025, they say every 5 years, they want to test the wells, and there was information I gave on cleaning up. I don't know if anybody did any testing in 2025, particularly on the wells. I mean, there's not only dioxin there, I mean, there's some really
that would be up
bad
to the
stuff.
EPA.
Yeah.
Yes, but the EPA, I mean, as you know, when Mark was here the other night, he showed me the site, which I had never even seen, that the EPA wants to use Superfund sites to their advantage. And I do not know, with the.
Whose best interest are they looking out for?
Absolutely. And when now there are so many government agencies that are either no longer in existence or don't have any workers working for them anymore, who is going to look after, the people and the health? I mean, we live in Green Oak Township. It would be nice to keep it green.
We're trying. We're trying.
I know, so.
Mr. Chairman, I would also just like to interject and say that the ordinance itself was written to ensure that in the event that a data center is developed, that every possible precaution that the township can legally enforce on a private developer is put in place. And that addresses public health, safety, buffering. We got landscaping, lighting, like we added more standards on that specific use than any other use
Well, how
really
did
in the
that,
zoning
yeah,
ordinance.
I just don't understand how it got in there to start with. That is the
It's a
issue.
requirement. If it's not in the zoning ordinance, and this was alluded to in Mark's letter, So, for example, in Saline Township, they have a data center. And the reason they have a data center being constructed is because they were found to have what's called exclusionary zoning, which is illegal. You can't, if there's a demonstrated need for a use, a municipality cannot legally say, we don't care, we don't want that use, because they'll get sued and the use will be constructed anyway. So these regulations were drafted to get ahead of any possible accusation of exclusionary zoning, because then essentially all township control, not all township control, but a lot of township control is lost in the legal battle with the developer. So I'm a consultant. We work in, the company I work for, we work in over 60 communities in Michigan. Everybody's getting data center regulations. Every single community. Small cities that are completely built out are getting data center regulations because the fear is of being found to be exclusionary, which is how a lot of these data centers are actually being constructed, not just Saline Township.
So basically, we're trying to stay ahead of the curve. Our goal was to make enough regulations, because we can't say they can't build them here. We have to say, if you build them here, here's the couple of places we'd let you, and here are the hoops you have to jump through. There's fully 5 pages of what it has to look like. I mean,
Yeah, I still don't really understand, whoever did it chose places to put on there, and so why?
It was a governmental effort here, and areas that are very industrialized and not utilized for much.
If you would like to come in and make an appointment and come sit down with me or Mark St. Charles, I would be happy to do that, because that's really the forum to do it, not a public meeting,
Yeah.
because generally we don't go back and
Right, generally, this is
dialogue.
just for your comments.
So-
So
Yeah, I know, and I guess I was still trying
generally, I
to.
keep it to 3 minutes, but I like.
I'm sorry, yeah,
We just kept this going, so it's okay.
So
At
I'd be
least it didn't
happy
take as
to-
long as the planning.
It's okay.
Yeah, I just didn't understand why those sites were chosen. I don't know, but it sounded like Mark did not know at that time about the EPA wanting to use Superfund.
Correct.
And he was really distraught about that.
He was.
That's why we're going to revisit our action.
Yeah, okay.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Well,
Carol.
thank you. I
Thank you very much.
hope this turns out well.
It will turn out as well as we can make it.
We're trying.
Okay,
trying.
okay. So I'm not on this list, even though,
You're 500 feet, so we're only required to do 300 underneath the Michigan Enabling Act. So
Talk to your neighbors that are within 300 feet and wait till they get an answer.
yeah, I mean,
Or
I'm
notice.
adjoining the property that's right north.
right,
so-
I understand.
Okay. Well, it's interesting because I got this thing that said I was. so.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that wishes to speak? Sir?
No, I just have a quick question. The hearing, public hearing in September, is it a good idea for the public to speak, or?
That's what a public hearing is
No,
for.
I understand that.
Yes.
It just seems that what Marcus said yesterday and what you're saying is you're kind of in agreement, so it's not really a foregone conclusion, so it's still great to come and speak.
It's great to come and speak your minds. That's what we want to hear. There's times where we get no one here, and we're like, why aren't there people here giving us their input? We and encourage your neighbors.
Yeah, to come speak.
Pro or con,
Right.
y'all get your 3 minutes. Okay? Or anything else? Our business is finished, I believe. Adjourn.